Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone-Faced Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are here with SDF Macross, episode 24 if memory serves. I actually thought we were going to be ahead. I don't remember. I think it's because of Pluto running over a bit. I got thrown. I'm looking at the schedule. I'm like, are we supposed to be doing 25 today? Nope, we're on 24. Before we get into the recap, though, how about we go over this board real quick since we're both looking at it? I've added a
Yeah.
few more characters. I've adjusted some relationship lines. Some of it looks a little funky, but we gotta do what we gotta do with the space that I'm working in. Obviously, I've added I don't know what you call them anymore.
The backup girls?
Well, I mean, technically they were the pinpoint girls,
Hmm.
but now we don't do that anymore. Now we've got a full-on shield that'll explode sometimes, so I don't even know. I don't know if they're still working those track balls or not.
I actually didn't know they had names.
Yep.
Panap, Pokey, and
I
May.
think it's Pocky. I think it's
Pocket?
Pock. I think they're that one's at least named after the
The
treat,
candy?
the snack or whatever it's
Yeah.
called. Yeah, I've never had it.
Yeah.
All I know is it's a
Neither do I.
stick.
Yeah.
I don't know if the other two are named after, but yeah.
I mean,
Um,
May might just be the month, I guess.
well, I was looking at the place where I normally get the names from, the behind
Mhm.
the voice actor thing. It's like I've
Yeah.
been looking at two of them now for a while, and it's like surely they've shown up by now. So I just like double checked Pocky, and it's like, oh yeah, they're one of the girls that runs the Shield thing. It's like that I've seen them. That's the uniforms that they wear when they're in that room by themselves operating the shields. And yeah, they are the backup crew too. So, this is probably the most controversial thing I've ever done on a concept board anyway. This
Uh-huh.
I've put a red line between Maestroff and Global. It very much appears to me that there is a mutiny of afoot, and I think that's what's coming. Otherwise,
Who has
uh,
the bigger hat?
down well, it depends on which scene they're animated in.
Hmm.
Otherwise, down here we have the deserters.
Hmm.
I don't think they're actually hostile to their old ways, so I put a white line since I didn't know exactly. Obviously, the red line between the pilot here, because the pilot is actively trying to kill them every time he shows up.
Yeah.
So,
Comes in.
and then obviously this green line here follows up to the fact that they were really happy with Hikaru for accepting their whole what's the word? My brain ain't
Asylum.
working. Yeah, asylum.
Asylum.
I want to say isolation. That's not right. Yeah, for him accepting it, and of course they're in love with Mid-May. So, a little bit of romance lines in there. What else? I think there was something else, but I cannot remember for the life of me right now. Yeah, I think everything else is the same. Nothing else is jumping out at me. I don't know if I had a white line to Kaifun to Hikaru before, but there's one there. So I should be changing
Well,
that color eventually.
yeah. Although, I guess they could be rivals, but how much is iPhone even aware that Hikaru exists? I mean, they met, of course, and he said some harsh words, but nothing like, "Oh no, this guy is after Mingmei" or something. Again, with everything, almost everything with Hikaru, it seems to be one-sided with him.
You'd think you'd think there must be something off screen, right? He has to know. Because like when Minmay vanishes,
Mhm.
she vanishes and then is asleep in Hikaru's hospital room.
Yeah.
So even if Kaifun doesn't know directly, you'd figure he'd be keeping tabs of some sort. Especially considering
Oh,
how
so
obsessed we know that he is with Minmay.
yeah, yeah.
Like, hey, Mr. Director, where did you find Minmay at? She was sleep in some hotel room, not hotel room, hospital room.
Hmm.
Well, any other comments about the board?
Oop.
All right, then why don't you go ahead and recap us on what happened last time?
The last time, episode 23, Dropout. Basically, it's the second of a what can be considered to be a two-parter with Love Concert, where the battle goes inside the Macross, specifically Macross City, and we discovered that a lot of the Centrati want to defect. There's a group of Centrati who want to defect, and there's another ones who are questioning what they're doing, which sets Quasim into a murderous rage as he pursues them across the city and tries to kill them. Eventually, that disruption led to everybody retreating from the Macross, even though they were, I guess, very close to winning the battle. Um, and also leads to dissension of the three former spies, Rory, Conda, and Guerrera, uh, the which Hikaru has a hand on it because Hikaru at first is shocked when he gets called to inform them that they're trying to have asylum, but eventually when he talks with them, it's like, oh yeah, no, they should be giving a chance. That then leads to Misa preparing to leave to Earth to have make a plea for peace with her father. Um, Hoping that this new evidence that in fact the blood tests and other analyses that were done on the spies showed that they're practically human. It's not explained how they are, but they're basically the same species. So not only are these giants might be aliens, but they're human somehow. What connection does it have to the protoculture or anything else? We don't know. But the fact that the Centrati commander, supreme commander, claimed that once they were they were the protoculture might have something to do with that. So Misa's off to see her daddy. We have the three spies and the other refugees have now become are now going to have to integrate into human society, and chaos reigns within Centrati ranks.
I thought for the briefest moment that you were going to forget the blood test thing because we were getting through it and it's like, oh, you didn't mention the blood test. I think that was might have been the most important part of the entire episode.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, because it indicates so much. They don't talk about it that much because I
Hmm.
believe it since it's Misa who brings it up, right?
Hmm.
That well, no, it's not Misa. It's that other scientist guy walks in with a report, right?
Yeah.
But I think they're treating it the same way as if Misa had said it, which is to say, dubious at best.
Hmm.
They don't
Yeah.
believe anything she says for some reason. But yeah, no, I mean it's like saying a lot by saying a little. The fact that they have basically the same. I don't know. I keep wanting to say they say DNA. What were their words? Do you remember?
They say blood type.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't know. That means very much. In
Yeah, same
in
blood.
my head, they said like they have the same DNA or something. It's like that would be
Yeah,
more.
we it would be.
But yeah, yeah, the very confusing bit about we had the Zentradi soldiers. I think this might have been 2 episodes back, but it still jumps out at me. We had the Zentradi soldiers that were firing on the other Zentradi soldiers who were themselves not the deserters. Right? You had the deserters who were planning to break free, and then but you have the other Zentradi who are firing on the Zentradi that are shooting at Minmay, who have nothing to do with the whole desertion thing. I think I said this before, it's just like Pontypool, right? That the whole concept is you're getting infected by a thing that you cannot prevent yourself from being infected by.
I mean, yeah, and then also I think we mentioned this before when we were discussing this. It's they shift the focus to it's you had the problem with men and women being together and trying to explain it. It's more about the actual culture, right? The singing, the living in peace, having living in a way that is not constant warfare. That's what's really affecting the Centrati. They're seeing a possibility of a life outside of their own, and many of them find it attractive, even worth defending.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think in the instance of the attack, Typhoon may have pulled a good one on that one, where he kind of said, "Just keep singing, just keep singing." In the middle. It sounds stupid, but I have to think that it's her singing that affected them in this instance
I'm
because it's all audio and it's the same thing that happened to the other guys when they're on the scout ship listening. But they also had the effect of having watched, which got them like double attuned. But
yeah. Well, I mean, like you said, it's saying a lot without saying much. The singing is it stands for the culture shock, right? Because that's what that's a symbol. That's a symbol. Like, hey, you can hear this music. It's something we're not used to, and that opens the door, right? Because everybody wants to hear the singing from Minmay. And then when they're in the city, and you have the scene where the three battle pods are kind of the pilots are just looking around, destroyed city, and we're like, wow, we did this. And it's very interesting. They say we did this. All
well,
the
I mean,
Centrati say we did it. You know,
they're the deserters though. The deserters are the ones that are going. We did this to them.
yeah.
We hurt Min May. Oh, they're already doubly affected by all this. They already want to defect, and now they're
Mhm.
seeing the place that they spent all that time spying on in this
Yeah,
war-torn state that they
but
created.
there were three guys that were just they just stopped and they're full size Centrati. They were not the spies. And that one scene, they you see they're panning the camera around the little circle camera, at least for them it's little. And they're like, oh my god, what have we done? Right. And that's when Kazim shows up and it's like, what are you doing? And they stand up straight. It's like, oh well, we should not fight. And I'm like, what? You don't want to fight? And he starts blasting them and killing them, and they start running away from him. Right. They don't even want to fight their commander. They don't even defend themselves. They just run. Right.
Well, to be fair, they didn't defend themselves back on Mars either.
Yeah.
I don't think that just seems to be something that they don't do. Like all the times that Chasm's been told to turn around and retreat, and they send him like a painful retreat signal at him. He's never been like the same way he wanted to disobey orders by having an old guy run the targeting system so that
Yeah.
he'll intentionally miss the miss and hit.
Yeah.
He's never been like, put an old blind guy on our targeting system and I don't know, put our ship between Pretais and the Macross so we'll accidentally take out Pretai. He's never been that. He's never been that manipulative to want to attack his commander. So I have to believe that the Zentradi soldiers are the same way. That they're
I mean,
never.
yeah, it's this military discipline and all that, right?
I don't mean, I don't know. We're in the middle of a mass desertion and they're still not doing it. So it seems to be more than that. I think in a society that you've built up that's entirely military, but also lacks everything else, like you have to conceive that these soldiers don't whistle to themselves at any point, or you know, when they're in their downtime, they have no downtime. That's my point. They have
Yeah.
nothing. So that there's more indoctrination involved than anything else. So it might not even be a consideration to them to fight back against their commanders.
I mean, they're hash fully grown, I suppose, and ready to go. So yeah.
I don't
I mean,
know.
that seems the implication though, that they don't have parents, or they're not microns,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
macrons. Yeah.
I think they are the originals in Trotty and they just don't remember. Remember we have an archivist for their whole past.
Yeah.
So it seems like most Entrati aren't allowed to remember their past or they've lost it somewhere. Because
Mhm.
the fact that they think they don't have parents or something like that just makes me believe that they are the originals. Maybe these giant bodies of theirs just don't die of old age.
It
They,
could be.
yeah, they've got these like miniature versions which are they think are just something that they can use, but turns out I would think to be their original bodies, and they've got them like in stasis or whatever. That's what they
Yeah.
used to go into. Because why else would they keep them around, right?
Yeah.
And these giant bodies, like Britai says, I was designed for this or something. That's
Mhm.
why he can run through space and fight three Valkyries. It's I think the giant bodies were made for them, and while they're in them, they're dumber, but they're also basically immortal to age.
Suppose.
Well, I mean, they're created bodies, so I mean, it applies everything that we found out so far in a way that rationalizes it to me. Also,
Mhm.
the fact we have the archivist. The archivist, I think, would be the only one that would know, but apparently everything's a mystery to him too. Maybe because he's half as tall as everyone else, so he is kind of still dumb. He's the smartest man in the land of idiots. He's
Um,
idiocracy. He's our idiocracy guy. He's an
hmm.
average dude who's the smartest man in the Centrati Empire. What else? What else? What else? What else? I mean, I keep wanting to pull out the Pontypool thing over and over again. I mean, it's the virus transmission by sound, right? What it, everybody is being affected by mid-May's music. You can't turn it off. Hell, and the fact here now is that we also have visual infection. They look at the city, they get infected.
Yeah, I think it all reinforces each other, right? The more they're exposed to it,
I do
and
think
also,
it's odd that they can look at a ruined city and then be like, "Oh no, how could I have done this?" When we know that they can also look at a planet from space and just fire on it and not give a shit.
well, again, I think you talked about the music, and the music serves as a connecting point, right? Before that, it was just it's a target, right? I got orders to destroy this. I'm going to destroy it. I don't care. Like when they attacked Macross cities in the beginning, they didn't care about what they were destroying. They were giving orders. They followed orders. But now with Min May serves as a symbol of something they can lose, something they didn't know they have, something they didn't know they needed. But now that it's within reach and they can lose it, it changes the equation. Like if I'm told, I don't know, tear down a house, well, if that's my job, I just tear it down. But it turns out to be my parents' house or my house, right? My room, my memories. Oh, wait a minute, what you want to turn down my own place? What's or somebody I know? Right? I have a connection to it. It's different. It's like, oh, it's my neighbor's house. I know I grew up with this guy for years. Oh yeah, go ahead and tear it down. I'm like, I don't want to do that unless I have to. Do I have to? Right?
What's your job?
Yeah.
I think
It might be my job,
it's
but
more like that if you're in your whole scenario and then your contracting boss comes over and pulls a gun on you. It's just tear down the building. What are you doing?
I mean, but I
But
would
sir,
feel
it's my
different.
house.
Yeah. If I'm forced to do it, if I have no connection to it, it's like, I mean, I might still do it, but it was like, this
We've
was
heard it
wrong.
here first, people. Lessons will commit ultimate evil if he's told he has to do.
Oh, I don't. It depends on what you want me to eat a bullet for.
So I was just following orders.
Well,
Anyway. Anything else? Anything else you want to cover before we get into the
no,
episode?
no, this was pretty substantial. Yeah.
All right. Well then, I think we should go ahead and just get into it. But before we get started, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment down below to feed that algorithm. On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some early access stuff, you can check it out over on the Patreon. It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure. It's all to support the channel, just a little bit extra.
No notes, so folks. It's just the same song that you've seen, the same song and dance you've seen before. It's if you're expecting us to say anything about it, except for this, you're not getting much.
Well, I mean, it's not Roy's jet. I think you pointed that one out last time.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the skull motif on the side.
This is no, this is still the um Hikaru's ace custom, which he only uses for a little bit before he becomes he takes over Skull One. Because it's red for Hikaru, blue for Max, and it was yellow for Kasakasu.
Well,
Ayo,
they gave
Ayo.
Heyo the cowardly colors.
I mean, he was not so much cowardly as a bit incompetent, you know.
I didn't call him cowardly. I'm just saying they gave him the cowardly colors.
Yeah,
Conversely, you could have said gold for Heyo, and I wouldn't have had any comment at all. All.
yeah, but I don't think they were going for gold.
Not with
Also, remember,
Heo.
this is no. I mean, this is animation. You want to keep primary colors as simple as possible.
I don't know. I don't run a printer company. I don't know the difficulties in gold. Arguably, it's gold on the bottom there. More gold than red. Still think this is a dumb plan. They literally demanded you leave Earth.
I think she's trading on the fact that her father is the admiral. Hopefully, that would help somehow.
Which he officially has not cared about before, and literally had to pass you a secret message to get out of there. I don't know, the more serious you look, the probably... Well, no, they're never gonna take you serious. Oh look, it's one of those girls.
ゼントラ D 側の様子はどうだね。
A4 ポイントから動く気配を見せていません。
変化なしか。このまま攻撃してこなければいいが。
艦長落ち着かないわね。あっちはもっとすごいわよ。ほらほら。バルキリーバイオリン今から順に着艦してください。
Why? Because she's in charge right now?
艦長、申し訳ありませんが指示を出してる間話しかけないでください。
あやこりゃすまん。
ほんと、艦内は禁煙です。もう忘れちゃってる。護衛中隊、3分以内に発進準備完了してください。
I mean, so long as we don't get any more off-screen transformations.
ドジだって噂だから。ファーストパック付きか。
I do like the designs for the UN armed forces, the shuttles and everything. Always liked them.
You mean Spacey?
Yeah, and Spacey. They still retain a little bit of that, rocket, the 1970s, late
I mean, it looks
rockets.
like a space shuttle mixed with a plane.
Yeah, I know, but the curves and stuff like that, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the more rockety style of ships, rocket ships
But
of the
do we know this guy?
No, just some random dude.
音声だけでよろしければ OK です。
Mind voice only. What the fuck does that mean?
一条ですが。
回線つなぎます。
もしもし。
早瀬です。
タイ。俺今日非番なんですが。
任務とは関係ありません。
どうしたんです？
あなたにはお別れの挨拶だけはしておきたくて。
別れの？
私これから地球に向かいます。今までのデータを持ってゼントラーディ軍との戦いをやめるよう統合軍
They'll start doing this anime.
ちょっと。
By which I mean 3 lines of text.
私だけ地球に戻れたとなれば、艦内の民間人たちに動揺を引き起こすかもしれません。軍人は特権を使って地球に戻れる。そう誤解します。ですから極秘に。
タイ、今どこにいるんですか？
地球に行ったら二度とマクロスには戻れない。
Why is this called mind voice?
I think they translated mind you, that is only voice, but they contracted it in the translation.
まだ彼らのことを理解していない人たちが大勢いるんです。彼らの力になってあげてください。それでは。
I thought that guy in the green outfit was gonna be somebody. It's like, oh, they've drawn him like with all the details of a main character. They even gave him like a detailed face.
Yeah, I think they upped the budget in this episode, and that's why we're seeing all these details.
発信します。あれか。
Now, if this is Gundam, she'd probably get shot out of the sky right about now.
艦長、敵軍の一部が急に移動開始しました。
Uh-oh.
シャトルをキャッチした模様です。
シャトルの進路を変更。敵を回避するんだ。
了解。
Well, that's just good. I like that we're prepared for anything.
方向より接近中。4番機、5番機、6番機は3回して敵を食い止めろ。了解、了解。大将、敵軍隊進
We
軍
should probably implement their new defensive procedure, which is to play Min-Mei songs as loud as possible, like a rebellious teenager.
2時情報より敵ポット軍出現、シャトルに急速接近中。5番機、6番機、ラムダ034ポイントに向かってシャトル本体に合流してください。
最初のはおとりか。
護衛中隊が増援を求めています。シャトルが捕まってます。敵ポットおよそ60機。
増援部隊を送るのに何分かかるんだ。
全速力で20分です。
I guess the shuttle doesn't have any, like, escape pod system or anything.
I guess that's what the capsules are for.
警備班にはそれでわかる。早くするんだ。パイロットには一
I have to think not, because it's very much built into the ship itself.
I mean, it could be ejected.
分かってます。
I don't know. 'Cause it just seems like the whole thing is just reinforcing itself, right? So it's more so, you know, so if any part of the shuttle gets, like, punctured or something, you don't, like, die for not having a spacesuit on. If it wasn't for the fact that Hikaru is in it, I was going to ask, is the booby duck like a wild weasel?
No, I think it's supposed to be the fast packs.
Yeah, I just don't know why they're calling it a booby duck.
30機か。あれか。行け。
To be fair, it feels like the one advantage the Citrati have to counter missiles they never use, which is distance. That their laser systems can, you know, attack at extreme range.
Yeah.
Well, they never do it. They just fly up close.
まあ今度のことでシャミ君もいい勉強になったろうから。そこいらで勘弁してやったらどうかな。
ということだそうです。
God, what happened to your eye?
Oh, she has. Oh, I noticed she's so short. They put a little box in so she can actually stand up.
This is not great for a safety maneuver.
ありがとう一条くん。助かったわ。
戻ってこれないかもしれないって言ってたけど。
ゼントラーディ軍のことを知ってる生き証人ですもの。本部がすぐに返してくれるとは限らないわ。
Ah, the hair flip.
統合軍の提督でも。
父の力を頼ってまで特別扱いしてほしくないの。
Aren't you counting on the fact that he's the admiral and you're gonna, you know, have that special connection?
Yeah, people like that are always hypocrites.
護衛を感謝します。
お礼言うのこっちの方だよ。あんたのおかげで今までずいぶん。
It's fine though, it's countered by the fact that nobody ever believes her, so...
あんたの完成指示大したもんだよ。
そろそろ大気圏に突入します。
じゃあ。
シグナルだわ。貴君の目的の達成とマクロスへの無事帰還を
We were
祈る。
literally just on the radio. You could have said this.
光る。
You chose to be shy and just hope that she knew Morse code.
I mean, I think it's standard signaling. Otherwise, he wouldn't have used it.
Aren't you still a tiny little spy? What are you...
Yes, she is.
What are you in right now? whatever she's in looked like it was made for her size.
提督
That Gundam
お出迎え
noise.
の用意はよろしいでしょうか
Never gonna let it
4
go.
号エレベーターでお待ちしております
ご苦労。
Something gonna happen to that wing?
No, I don't think so.
Cool.
提督シャトルの到着時刻
The
が
narrative lessons of Chekhov have failed to land on Macross.
No, because they actually talk about the fastbacks, and then he used the fastbacks. So Chekhov's gone right there.
No. They shot the transport and hit it in the wing in multiple spots.
Yeah, but I don't think
Now
that
the
means he
thing to
has a
do
break.
would be to have difficulty landing, or a crash landing where she needs to be rescued.
早瀬隊きっと戻ってきますよ
大尉のことなんか考えてもないし落ち込んでもないよ
とにかくこんな時は気晴らしに行くのが一番ですよ
There's that disco just down the street.
さあ行きましょう
Or an arcade, sure.
ここで気晴らし
注意だったら相手にとって不足はなしさ
やめとく俺今日お前に勝てる自信ないわ
じゃあ一人でもできるやつやりましょうよね
Oh, she's playing an arcade game. Okay. And what's his name? Yoshio. It's been a while since we've seen him.
Yeah. We get to see him less and less of him. He's not that important. Well, did they show the battle damage?
That just explains at least why she had like a thing that was made for her. Because it wasn't made for her. She's just enjoying some time at an arcade.
ミサ。
統合軍隊早瀬美沙ブルーノ J グローバル艦長の命により報告書を持参しました。
ご苦労。
So those games are pretty shit if you've ever played a holographic game before.
That actually is a real game, by the way. That was a Laserdisc game of what was it?
Back in-
Looping the Third. Yeah, back in the day, Looping the Third.
Well, not the one I played. The holographic game that I played was like a time traveling game.
Yeah, no, but I meant they switch quickly. If you go back, you can see that the car following. That's from the Looping the Third.
Oh, well, I was talking about the domed holographic game
Yeah,
that they were playing
yeah.
before that.
Yeah, I seen this one.
マクロスでゲームセンターなんて始めるんじゃなかった
The fuck is that guy?
The owner.
He's the most creatively drawn character in the whole goddamn show.
ゼントラーディの者たちが我々とほとんど同じ遺伝子構造。
There you go, genetics right there.
この報告書が事実なら我々は考えを変えねばならんかもしれん。
Why?
では和平交渉を結ぶ
Hey, remember that whole
軍を説得していただけます
war
か
we did
やってみ
a
る。
couple years back against everybody with the same genetics with us?
No, but I think the idea is that they can be talked to, right?
Sure,
Because-
sure. I'm just saying, everything you're about to say applies to everyone we've ever had a war with in the real
Yeah.
world.
True. Well, you do try to have peaceful negotiations from time to time.
僕の好みのタイプだ
Her hair color is also super weird.
一つお手合わせ願えないかな君の代も打ち止めみたいだし
それをかけるなら
決まりだレベル B でスタートしていい
結構
Here's the rub, is that this assumes that real-life skills are applicable to video games.
Oh, nice. It upgrades to 3D, I guess.
Also, I guess the assumption here is that she would be good as a Valkyrie pilot.
店長
See, this dude should have been like the main scientist on the ship or something. I feel like they wasted his design.
もらった。
Look at the guy in the back like this.
I was drawn by the guy in the white suit with the blonde hair. It's like there's a lot of designs in here that could have been normal people in the show.
この男が美しい。バストは85ぐらい。意外と着痩せするタイプだ。
Oh my god. Okay, he's shaking him out, but he's like getting the exact measurements. Jesus Christ. You
How much
two.
more annoying, though, to be defeated by someone who's not even looking at the game.
Yeah.
負けた。このゲームで生活していたこの私が。
いやー、さすが天才パイロット、見事な。
It also explains how she can afford all she has, because she basically goes here, plays games, gets the money.
Assuming that their arcade gives you actual money, which would be the most insane arcade in the world.
名前はミリア。
It says basically. I think the idea is that you bet money and you have a chance to win, but if you don't, then you know.
承知。
Well, I mean, because it sounds like what you're describing is a casino, and this dude
Yeah,
said
pretty much.
arcade. At
Oh,
best,
arcade games.
At best, he should take those boxes of coins to the front and get the smallest teddy bear possible, right? This is an arcade. Those are tickets.
提督いかがでしたか。
和平交渉を試みようとする方向に傾き始めたよ。
I think he's lying.
よかった。お父様、どうしたんですの？さっきから私の顔見てばかり。
いや、死んだ母さんにそっくり。
I just got off the phone with Kaifu. Things are getting real weird now.
どうだ、好きな男はできたか？
え？
そうか。
ところで一体何ですの？私に見せたいものって。
見なさいミサ。このグランドキャノンを使えば和平交渉もスムーズに進行するだろう。こいつを発射すれば数万の艦隊といえども一瞬に消滅できる。この威力を見ればゼントラーディ側は嫌でも和平交渉に。
That doesn't sound like negotiations.
こんなものを使っても無駄です。ゼントラーディ軍の母艦の大きさに比べたらグランドキャノンなんて子供騙しのおもちゃ以下に過ぎません。こんな兵器、戦いを拡大するだけで何の役にも立ちません。 武器を使わなくともゼントラーディの人たちは和平交渉にきっと応じるはずです。
軍人の血を受け継いだお前が今さら理想だけで平和を語ろうというのか。お前の乗ったシャトルを襲った連中は和
I
平
can't
の
help
呼
but
びかけ
see
に
how
応じ
looking
た
at the
はず
design of this place and thinking it's made to destroy itself when it fires.
同じであろうと所詮は異星人同士たやすく分かり合えるわけはない。
お父様。
ミサ、同じ地球人がたった一つの統合政府を作るのに何千年間戦争を
Saying your own point, yeah.
グランドキャノンの発射予定日はすでに決定しておる。和平交渉はその後だ。
I mean, to be fair, this is what? We'll drop a nuke on them and then we'll see about how willing they are to negotiate.
Yeah.
1週間以上も付きっきりだっていうのは本当ですかね、ミメさん。2人が結婚するのではないかという噂が流れてますが。
そんなこと考えてみたことも。
Y'all know we are cousins, right?
前の彼氏とのお付き合いはどうなったの？
Are you on someone's shoulders there, dude? What are you...
統合軍の注意さんと言ったらお分かり？光のこと？あの人は単なるお友達よ。
お友達。
でも以前は
You son of a bitch.
全く結婚を意識してなかったなんて変ですね。
ロリー先輩、結婚って何のことですか？
その結婚ってのはな、とにかくものすごいことなんだ。キスなんかよりもっとすごいことやるんだぞ。海軍さん、本当に結婚の約束はないんですね。
はい。
怪しいな。隠さないで教えてよ。
結婚はありません。ただ
ただ
僕個人としてはそれを前提としていると言っても差し支えはありません。
やだ、冗談ばっか。
Guess we just don't care about the we're related thing, do we?
No.
So if the media's even pushing for it and no one's even, like, talking about it.
Yeah, I guess it's not a problem.
どうぞ。
注意、率直に言ってください。こ
You look like a
デートになっ
dork.
てますか？明日のデートに着てこうと思ってるんですけども。
Considering who he's going to meet, he'd probably be better off just wearing his military uniform.
あの人は単なるお友達よ。
I can't help but think that that woman thinks you challenged her
こんな
anyway.
ところで何考え込んでるの？
クローディアさん。
民名のテレビ見た？
ええ、まあ。
でもあなたはいいわ。
え？
あの子よりもお似合いの人がいるもの。
そんな人いやしませんよ。
そう？自分で気がついてな
Thought
い
you
だ
gonna
け
push
じゃない？
Misa on him now?
身近にいすぎるからわからないってことがよくあるのよ。だから心を許してわがままの言い合いで喧嘩になる。でも心の底では違うの。
Claudia, maybe you've forgotten how Misa is attracted to Kaifun as well. It's really backfired your face with both
そ
of
んな
them
人に
marry
ぶつかる
Kaifun.
もんじゃないわ。言いたかったのはそれだけ。
I mean, she's also been pushing Misa on Hikaru as well. Or Hikaru on Misa, because she's been reminding him of him. It's like, oh, are you going to call somebody? It's like, no, he's off. I don't want to,
I know.
She's playing matchmaker.
I know. It just seems like a thing that she's so obsessed with Kaifun as well. To have both of your love interests it's a love square at this point.
マックスとミリアが3度目の対決の時を迎えた。約束の場に来たマックスの前に
I'm sorry, did you throw a punch at her?
ミリアが立つ。
Oh, she threw a punch at him.
It doesn't matter.
Why doesn't it matter?
You don't look, man. It doesn't matter how many punches they throw at you. You don't throw a punch at a woman.
Okay, I know that I hesitated there and it's bad, but
Look,
in this
she's
case,
clearly
I think
not
it fits.
armed. She's not armed. Okay, there's not
okay.
there's not a fair argument to be played here. I guess maybe someone could say, yeah, but she's military trained. She could possibly try to kill you. In which case, I don't think she'd be throwing punches. She'd be coming at you with something harder than a punch. I'm just saying, man. I don't know. I don't know. In the back of my head, somebody tries to hit you, you hit them back, sure. But at the forefront, the first thing I'd be thinking is, what's my duty here? Get out of the way.
I mean, yeah, it's you have always a right to defend yourself. That doesn't mean necessarily you're going to have to strike back. In fact, by law, most states, except for those who are stand your ground states in the United States, the right that you have to do is to run away. Literally, it's just run away from a fight.
I don't know about most states. I think the majority goes the other way.
Stand your ground states.
It's stand your ground. It's also I can't remember what it's called. Castle something.
That's the castle defense.
Right.
Castle defense, or your home is your castle.
If you hear all the news reports about people who just shoot their neighbors for standing in their yard,
yeah,
that's the trend that's been going on lately.
That's true.
Because I mean, it's hard to argue what feeling threatened is.
That's why it's so convenient.
Yeah. Well, such is the plight of the landowner, right? That's sarcasm.
Yeah, I know. I know this.
But yeah, no, I mean, a lot goes on. I think you were right that they had more budget this episode, because we got so many more character models. Like, think about when they were, those three Zentradi guys were spying on the Macross, and we were like, got shots from the street. How basic everybody looked. Because they were just random, like, 3-color models. of people. And now we have, like, the model that should have been the chief scientist of the ship. And you were pointing at some guy in the back, but I didn't notice him because the guy near the front with, like, the white suit and the blonde hair was such a well-drawn model. I was like, who the hell could this guy have been?
Hmm.
So
And they
everybody in the
also,
arcade could have been somebody in the show.
yeah. Also, the fact that I guess that he was Mac's subordinate. They even give him like a green suit as well, right?
Oh, you're
They
talking
even
about
color code
the guy that was
the
with
pilot.
Misa?
Yeah,
I don't know.
they
Yeah, I
even
mean, obviously it does denote that he was somebody of significance, that he got his own color. Oh, that's right. Max got subordinates. We never saw
yeah.
them, though.
Oh, I mean, he's giving orders because he's leading the squadron that's escorting the shuttle. So I guess he does have subordinates.
I mean,
He was in charge.
no, we know that he had subordinates because he told Hikaru about it before because he thought it was
Yeah.
so weird. But there's
Uh-huh.
also the facet that they've all been getting these promotions constantly. So it's
Yeah,
entirely possible he's just giving orders because everyone's under him now. I think we brought it
exactly.
up before. It's the whole Starship Troopers thing. We're the old men
Mm.
now. It's
Yeah.
just so it doesn't. I don't think him giving orders means anything other than the fact that he was in command of that operation. Um, yeah, no, I just expected that guy to be a guy, but then again, thinking back to it, I've done all this work on the concept board, and I don't remember any other guys that I'm missing.
Yeah.
Well, I know there is one. There's one because I looked at him and I'm like, I don't know this guy, so I haven't added
Mm.
him to the board yet. Other than that, any other thoughts about this episode?
No, I mean, you were right about what the admiral was about to say. Basically, there's like, oh yeah, so they're human or human-like. They're still waging war. We're gonna have to fight them, right? But at the same time, it's like, oh, you're gonna use your biggest gun on them, and then expect them to negotiate.
Well, it's playing
Yeah,
out literally like World War II, right?
yeah.
Where we're
Except that the other side has the ability to wipe out your entire planet.
well,
Yeah, oh, I can destroy 10,000 ships. Yeah, they can destroy your entire
it's
planet.
playing
So,
out like World War II in reverse, right? This is
mhm,
like if Japan nuked us and then demanded we
yeah,
surrender, because obviously the Zentradi in this aspect would represent the Americans or I guess the Allies, in that they're the invading force who are threatening to just basically destroy the planet, nuke our homeland
yeah,
if we don't, I don't know, they haven't made demands, but uh, otherwise, again, this is like if Japan had a nuke pointed at our aircraft carrier fleet and
mhm,
did that and then demanded we surrender. I don't know, it's weird inversion. I can see the obvious tropes at play to make it a weird inversion, but I think it's very clear that obviously they didn't Chekhov's gun this whole super weapon system just to say, yeah, we're gonna negotiate. It just also doesn't make much sense. I also can see their point of view, right? Because we don't know that, God, what's his name? Golg? We don't know that Golg is being influenced by proto culture.
mhm,
Often the, I think she was calling it the Zentradi carrier. It looks like a
yeah,
Zentradi base to me, but I guess if the
yeah,
implication is if that thing is mobile, then sure. But yeah, we don't know that he's being influenced by protoculture right now, off on his own. That the entire Zentradi leadership might be falling to this whole thing.
yeah.
So otherwise, all you know is there's a massive threat out there. You told us we don't believe you, but we're taking it seriously. That they could destroy our planet at any moment. I think the first thing we do is we eliminate that threat, and then we demand for negotiations. Which makes sense if you think about it. Probably don't negotiate when you're under their gun. Try to make things even before you start trying to talk evenly.
I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that this it's a nuanced, somewhat nuanced discussion of the situation, right? You can understand where the UN is coming from. Because the UN before kind of came off as being like, oh yeah, whatever, you're all dead, we don't care. But now they're like, oh, okay, this is getting serious. Yeah. And also I think because they saw the power of the Macross itself. And remember, the Macross is supposed to be an alien ship, so it's supposed to come from the Centrati, right? The Centrati is supposed to get a chip back. Like, oh, if overloading the barrier can just wipe out a city, plus it has the main gun, what else can the Centrati have themselves, right?
I don't know. They when they were being interrogated by the Zentradi, they did mention the Supervision Army. So assumedly, Misa and company would have brought up that facet too.
Yeah.
So they might know that the Macross doesn't come from the Zentradi. Also, they've seen the inside of Zentradi ships and they've seen the inside of the Macross. So
Yeah, they're kind of different, yeah. But even then, and that also, that makes it even worse because if the Centrati are these powerful, right, and they're supposedly fighting another enemy across the galaxy, well, we can't let our defenses down because these other people might show up, and then we're back to square one again.
I guess at best it doesn't go with the theme of the show, right? If we just keep fighting all the time, eventually we've got to come to an understanding, which is great for the show, might not be so matching with reality.
I think the show is trying, whether we'll see if they succeed or not, trying to have a nuanced view of this, right? Yes, we are for peace ultimately, but we have to defend ourselves, right?
I mean, you keep saying nuanced. I think it's trying to tread the line between realistic and idealistic.
Oh, well, that's part of. I mean,
I don't think that's a nuance. I think that's I have a story I want to tell, but I'm trying to make this as hard as possible to simulate reality, which is not nuanced so much as it's railroading. But
I mean, I think
all narrative is railroading, so I'm not like
I think
I'm not trying to be harsh about it.
I think that's the difference between technique and goals and technique and how it's all put together, I suppose, how it comes off. And I say nuance because they're not, the admiral could say, "Oh, I'm gonna ignore, your recommendations as I did before. We're just gonna fire the ground and we're just gonna kill as many as they are." And maybe, yeah, no, and there's going to be no negotiation, right? You could make the admiral of the UN be like so hard ass that it's like they're the evil people and the stupid people that don't understand or don't even want to do anything.
I mean,
Yes,
they are.
They want to go. They're supposed to be.
I would also point out the fact that everything we've gotten this episode has come from one person who's also been the one who wrote her a note like, get out of there. Like, the guy that we've already covered has been willing to go against orders to make sure his people are safe.
Yeah.
Whereas we know that he's also operating via committee. So there's we can't really tell if everything that he says is genuine or that he's saying stuff to her that the rest of the Admiralty has not sanctioned yet.
Yeah.
Because we could go back to the room full of giant heads and they could say completely different things.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Any other final thoughts?
That's about it.
All right. Well, this has been Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta. This is Lessons, and we are wrapping up today. I have really messed up this outro. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?